Back on the Viva Vegas TV show, I have a good friend of mine, Christina Carmel, straight off the new hit show from WETV, Match Made in Heaven. How do you feel?
You know, I feel great. It was definitely an intense episode to watch last week, for sure. A little bit of an emotional exit, but I feel great. I wouldn't trade the experience for anything.
Did you cry more or less than what they showed on TV of you?
I cried more. You know, it's so funny.
You got a crier.
Yes, I am a crier. I'm open about it. But and gosh, I cried so much just watching myself cry, which was another at a breakdown. Watch my breakdown. But you know, on a real level though, it wasn't because I mean, no disrespect to Sean or anything, but I wasn't crying for him. I wasn't crying because I was leaving him. I was crying because I was actually in a pretty fucked up place in my life, and I was coming back to some pretty real shit. And you know, the reality of coming back to real life after you're living in this kind of fantasy world for a couple weeks, you know, that's where the emotion came from. So I'll just set the record straight. Sean, no hate or anything, but it wasn't. Those tears weren't for you, boy.
So I'm getting kind of a common theme here that, you know, some of the people loved Sean, some of the people weren't too attracted to him. What was it for you that made the switch, whether it was a yes or a no thing?
So on our first little date, we had like 2 minutes together, and I asked him what his favorite love song was. And he
was it Boyz II Men, I'll Make Love to You?
No, he had no answer. And for me, music is my everything. Music is my soul, my religion, my everything. And so when you can't, we're on a dating show, we're here to find love, and you can't give me a love song, pull something out of your ass, boy. And he couldn't. And I just felt like that, so there just wasn't that connection.
No love song, no date. So just remember that, guys. If you're out there watching, just pull something out. You've lived in Vegas before you went on the TV show. A lot of people say that living in Vegas is like having life compressed because so much happens so quickly. This must have been even more so than that. Did it prepare you to be on the show?
You know, it absolutely did. I feel like everything I've ever needed to learn about life, I've learned in Vegas. And so you know how to read people. You have to, in Vegas, you have to know how to read people. Otherwise, you won't survive. So you have to know how to not just read people, but also how to play people, if you know what I mean. Can't hustle a hustler. And so that, yes, absolutely. Vegas, I love this city, but I'm happy I don't live here anymore. So it did prepare me for that.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever been to a pool audition here in Vegas? Yeah. Worst? So obviously the answer is yes. Would you rather go on national TV and sing with this guy that you don't like, or go to a pool audition? Which one's worse?
Shit, man. That pool audition was fucking torturous. I'd rather go on national TV and sing for sure. I mean, yeah. I'm not going to delve into that, but yeah, fuck that.
So next question. What was your favorite episode of the show?
Let's see. I think my favorite episode of the show was the second episode, where I actually finally got to see a little bit more of my personality, where I finally got to bring a little bit of my sass. You know, the craziest thing for me about the show is in my life, I've always considered myself a loud, outspoken, kind of sassy person. And then when I was put in this environment with other loud and sassy women, I found
not to mention any names or anything.
Dolly, Mecca, Barbie. I was the quiet one, and so that was definitely that was a huge learning experience for me, to find out that really I am not this loud, clappy girl. You got to see a little bit of my attitude on the second episode when I had to wait for someone, and their punctuality upset me, but. I think that was the craziest thing for me.
Now, fast forward, you know, obviously the show's finished filming. It's in its third episode airing. What have you done since the show? Tell me about some of the opportunities that you've had.
So I actually just released my first music video, which is my baby. I wrote this song probably 2-3 years ago, and I've just kind of been sitting on it, cultivating it, and I finally had the opportunity to make this awesome music video. This song is called Housewife, and it is actually...
What's the concept?
Okay, so it's a spoof on Justin Bieber's boyfriend, and it's called If I Was Your Housewife. And you know, lady, I'm not trying to, you know, take women back or anything, but any woman who wants to be taken care of or likes that, you know, that glamour in their life, they'll be able to relate. It's about baking cookies and wearing lingerie and all that good shit.
I have seen it.
Yes.
I think it's pretty damn entertaining. Thank you. What now you said you've been approached by many of these shows, and then what does it actually feel like? Because I'm sure that, you know, a lot of people, you know, they get auditioned and then they don't get to go on. So right. What happened for you, and when was your kind of aha moment? Did you jump up and down?
No, I was sitting on my couch. I got this Facebook message. They're like, "Will you do this audition?" I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't think anything would come of it, and then all of a sudden, you know, this 15-minute interview is turned into an hour interview. All of a sudden, I'm signing paperwork. There's contracts, and then I'm moving into this house. But I believe there was someone looking out for me who didn't let me go on this show at 21 and had me go on at 29. Thank you, Jesus, because I'm such a different person, and I carried myself a very different way than when I was 21. So I think it was someone looking out for me, honestly.
All right, we have time for one more question. Who was your biggest enemy on the show, and what would you have to say to them now?
Honestly, the only person I ever had beef with was Mecca, and it wasn't anything to do with like the premise of the show. It was how she spoke to people, specifically how she spoke to production. When these people are walking around breaking their backs for you, like carrying your food and making sure you get to the bathroom and doing your makeup, and you're treating them with any level of disrespect, that was honestly my only beef throughout.
So you think there's no chance that she could be Justin Bieber's housewife with the attitude like that?
Oh, fuck no. Absolutely. If she even touched my man, I'm going to whoop her ass. I'll get Clappy on that. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we're here with Christina Carmel, fresh off Match Made in Heaven, and you are watching Viva Vegas TV.